A very good evening from India to everyone, and a warm namaste from my side. And thank you for joining this session. I think there are many people who are joining now. It's just 8 o'clock now. So I get the maximum participants from 8 to 8:05. So thank you, all of you who have taken out the time to join this session. And this session is very interesting because I'm going to touch the raw nerve of what is value and why programs are needed to deliver the real value, and why not projects can give you the real value. So this is something which is going to be damn interesting. So as people are joining, it's a little bit about me, a younger version. I'm still young, but a little younger version about myself. And uh, I like to be talking with you, understanding, learning from you as well. But project, program, all this project management is a space where I want to deep dive and contribute to in this space. So that's how ProThoughts was also born, and this is something which I like to do. So this is a little bit about me. So great. Okay, there are some people who are joining as we are talking. So welcome once again, all. And I'm about to start. And I know it's a little long day for a lot of you. And I want to start with a poll for everyone who had joined, okay, on time. So if you can go to the poll, I'm just opening the poll. And I'm going to launch my first question of the poll. What, according to you, is value? Is value. Great. I think I have put the right choices because everyone is answering every choice. I'm getting like a equal thing. Nobody has answered value applies to agile projects. But yeah, value does apply to agile projects. Why it does not apply to agile projects? But yeah, that's not the definition of value. Oh, okay. Come on, everyone. Great. Okay. Around 70 odd percent participated in the survey. And yeah, but I got equal kind of stuff from everyone. No, 10% on every answer, sometimes 15. But yes, thank you so much for answering. Right. Great. So I want to, okay, I just share the results as well. Uh, but yes, I stop sharing. Value is a very difficult concept to understand, and value is becoming a lot important in the coming days. Thanks, Raghavendra. Value, why value, like agile after COVID, okay, has kind of grown into demand. And one reason that has gone into demand because a lot of businesses and organizations are going after the term value. You can call it business value. So they are going after this term business value. And it was not that it was not there before, but the emphasis on business value has really grown after. It has become a lot important. It should be very specific. People should know after this. So that is something all businesses are pursuing. And that is the reason even program management is also growing in demand. Both agile management and program management are in the same quadrant. I call it learning based method. Both of these are learning based method. Project management is a performance based method. What do you mean by performance based method? Performance means it is based on speed. Program and agile is not a speed based method. They are on the correctness. So it's a different way of thinking in both these terms. So I'm not going to go into that sphere right now. I had another webinar where I explained what is a program and a project. But today's thing is all about value. And if you attend today's session, you will understand articulate value, the real value, in a much better way. And I'm going to talk about metrics as well when it comes to value. So, value is in the eyes of the beholder, right? So, it is a perceived value, as some people say. Everyone defines value differently, right? For a customer, value might be a better experience and a satisfaction, but for an employee, it can be less, no hassles, less frustration, a growth. So everyone sees value differently. In program management, I use the word benefit. Okay, benefit is like a gain or an asset or an advantage that I get because I do something. So that is a value. So value is perceived differently. In fact, when I do agile, I have been a coach in agile, and I say in lean definition, so everyone has defined value differently. So in a lean, because no, lean is a root of agile. So in lean definition of agile, there are three aspects of value. One is what the business wants to invest in. Second, okay, what the one is the business, what it wants to invest in. The second part is what the customer or a stakeholder considers important. And the third, which is most important, is the customer consumes it after its release. I call it a value. But value is different for different beings in the organization. So I will come to that. So when I do a project, I put a deliverable. That deliverable, this is called an output in project terms. Now in the 8th edition, they have started calling outcome as well interchangeably, but I would like to refrain from that. The output, when it is developed, like a amalgamation of different deliverables, can turn into a capability, right? So that can give me a capability, and capability, when I start using it, okay, consuming it, I can turn into an outcome and a benefit, which translates into a value. I given an example so that you can understand this. Okay, a CRM system with, say, another window portal can give me a 360-degree visibility on my customer prospects, lead, etc., which will help me to have a better engagement. I had done in my company. I can understand better not only my customer, my sales team as well, right? Which can help me to get a better conversion. Because I have better conversion, I will increase revenue. As a business, I want increased revenue. That's the value I'm pursuing. So don't confuse deliverable with value. Deliverable is the first step, and multiple deliverables then produce capabilities, outcome, benefit, and value. Okay. You can ask me questions at any point of time. But value, people see it differently. Like, no, many businesses can go after a financial value, which can be your normal increased profitability or ROI. A customer sees a value as CSAT, customer satisfaction, which you might be using as a metric. Operational value is different. Strategic value might be a competitive advantage. Societal value can be sustainability. In the new 8th edition, sustainability is one of the hot topics now. So as a project manager, as we go along, sustainability would be a consideration for project management. When you are developing something, your project manager build a change. So when you're doing a change, sustainability would be a key thing to do. So that is something which we need to recognize. So value can be seen by different people, by different lenses. A value cannot be defined in one sentence. So this is no, I'm just giving you a no thing about value. Value, like I said, is difficult to define. Like, it becomes a very difficult for me as a promoter in my business to tell something that I want, say, increase revenue. I need to translate for different people what they need to do, because so everyone looks at value differently. A customer, this is the customer, sorry, I didn't name her. The customer, she wants a better experience. But for the same thing, the regulator wants compliance, he wants easier work. So different people is looking at value differently. So how you can define a value is a big question. And therefore, to build a consensus is a very different ball game. So this is a prime question when you define the value. In a lot of organizations, we don't go to that stage. We think that a successful delivery and building a product, you understand there is a problem that the sales are not going strong, and I want a 360-degree system which I can see everything on one single dashboard. So I do a CRM system. People say having a CRM system will solve the problem. But a lot of organizations having a CRM system still are maintaining the leads on Excel because they are comfortable, because they can't use the CRM system. So that is not a value delivered. People think making the CRM system live is value delivered. No, you do not do that going post this. What actually everyone wants and what is the real value if I need to do no development, solve a problem. And that is very important, right? So real value is always measured by impact, by not doing the things. What is the impact? And we need to measure the impact. I cannot, no, I cannot say this system has gone live, the value is delivered. No, you need to see whether it can be sustained. Can it be measured? Is it creating an impact? I will give you examples, right? A perceived value can be a short term. The real value should be sustained and becomes an asset for the organization. Many people, like I meet some agile teams. Recently, I met agile teams. They said that they are measuring velocity and number of features delivered per month. That's the metric. But nobody is seeing that whether the value is getting delivered, are the problems are getting solved, are the people using that features. Nobody is checking that. And that's the big problem. People, like I went, now I'm doing a training in July for a big corporate who is developing a plant in Pune, which is like 1,000 crore plant. And they said they achieved this plant within budget. They are not reaping the benefits of doing the plant. And that's a big problem. Why in the first place you did the plant? What is the benefit? Nobody is measuring that. As a project unit, you are just measuring the simple KPI, right? So you need to measure the real value. And I'm going to come to that, right? A PgMP, okay, is the bridge between the initiatives that the organizations want you to deliver the benefits. The benefits are your outputs, capabilities. Program manager is focused to deliver, goes beyond the deliverable, goes beyond the outputs, is on sustaining the benefits and creating the value which the organization wants to create the impact. And how he does that? By coordinating a lot of moving parts in terms of the projects, also in terms of the operations after the projects are delivered. So program manager is the one who is like managing a lot of moving parts, and his focus is not on output, which is the project success. Outcome has been generated, right? So he is focused on the program success. So this is classic, right? Projects can all be green and still the program can fail. I did a recent coaching and training session at a regulatory firm which is in finance, and they have a multiple, they do multiple audit things in for various clients. One is in South Africa, one is in RBI in India, etc., etc. And they say, they were telling me, our projects are successful, but the clients keep on complaining that they didn't get what they want. It's a classic case of the operation was successful, but the patient died. I normally use this. Like, you did all the right things, but people didn't get the value. I find this kind of no figurative speech in my company as well. No, sir, I did my job. No, whatever you said, I did it. It was my task for the week. I did it. So someone has said that you want to, no, we do marketing, so you need to update the titles in YouTube, no, put the description or scripts and description properly. Okay, but you just do not want to put that. You want to put it in a way that it can create an impact. So nobody is thinking why we should do it, what the impact will be. People are just doing task, and the task doesn't create an impact. So the project mindset doesn't have that micro view of creating a value mindset, and that is missing in today's organization. And now it has become a pressing need, which was not there 10 years back. 10 years back, the whole process was very slow. People were slow. The change was not so fast. Today, the change in AI is very fast. A small fintech company can challenge a big giant like a Citibank. So it is going to be a fast change, and people should be equipped with that kind of reactions, and they can't afford to go slow in this way. So people need to ask the right question. People need to be aligned to creating that impact, which is not possible in a project. You need to have that program mindset. So the program manager's role has become more important post the COVID. COVID has accelerated the change. And as I go further, it will be more fast paced things. Our life is going to change in a positive, negative way, both. So we need to equip ourselves how we can do that. Right. Now, recently, no, almost for the last 4 weeks, I'm getting calls from some of our earlier customers to help us find the right job. People are finding a lot of pinch in the way they are working. People are, a lot of organizations are trimming their workforce. And this is a way we need to, as a bring about that change, equip with the right skills, and make ourselves relevant to the organization, which is necessary. So I believe in that always. So value, if I have to talk about, focuses on this five. Okay, if I had to put this as a five characteristics. Okay, one is aligning together what the organization wants. Okay, that is very important. What is the impact we all together need to create? As a project manager, I am so much at the bottom. I actually do not know, or I actually do not care about the strategic objective, because my whole role is designed to be only working with my specific project objectives. So there should be alignment from the top to the bottom on creating a strategic outcome. That's the value I'm generating. Value is strategic always. Okay. And then, does it help my stakeholders to solve their problems? Can I create the impact which can be measured? Can the value be endured over a long time? Is it sustainable? Can it be created an asset for the organization? Okay. And whether the value I'm creating is not destroying my earlier value. So there will be always a disbenefit. Disbenefit means, like, for example, I'm creating a metro in Mumbai city. I'm going to grab some land, and it will be inconvenient for a certain section whose land will be taken away. But on a large, I'm creating a better value of easing a traffic or faster reach to a destination. So that is the value I'm creating, right? But it should not destroy my earlier value. This is very important. So how I can align, these are the 5 things that you need to know when you are creating the value. Program manager's role. Okay. This is a project manager asking the output. Did I deliver the right product? A program manager asks, did we realize the right benefits as intended? And a top management asks, did we create an asset enduring value? And that's the difference. A program manager is the bridge between these two, because the output will relate to the benefits. Benefits will create that enduring value. A project manager's role is currently not designed to create the value, and what the business wants is the value, and there is no scientific way to currently in organization there are not no. So program manager is providing the scientific structure to create the value. So this role is going to gain importance. You already, most of you might be doing this, or there would be a role in an organization, may not be called a program manager, might be called a functional director, head or something, but this is the role that is going to be there. So the one factor is to measure the value, and I'm going to talk about how you measure the value, and that's part of even our program management. So you translate the objective into benefits. The benefits are broken down into CSFs. I hope you have heard about CSFs. CSFs are critical success factors. Generally, a program or any other big initiative would have 5 to 12 CSFs. And every CSF, so CSFs are subjective in nature, very qualitative, very specific. I'll give you some examples in the next slide. And to measure the CSFs, I have key performance indicators called KPIs, which are objective in nature and can measure the CS. And this helps you to realize the value. I have given the example below, like the strategic objective can be increase market share. Like ProThoughts wants to increase the market share, wants to open an office in Middle East, Africa, USA. By the way, we are opening USA and hopefully in this summer, next month or so, with a classroom session in California. That's something which we are hoping to build on that. So that is increasing the market share. Okay. And the benefits would be improve the customer experience. By how I can increase the market share by having a better customers experience is better, and therefore they buy our products. And how I can know what is the CSF, critical success factor, to improve the customer experience. How I can improve that? By having a better customer service. And how I can measure that is by having a CSAT or a NPS or average resolution time or the first resolution contact time, etc. That can be my KPIs. If I do this, I will get the, so value can be measured by CSFs and KPIs. CSFs are the critical success factors, which are the specific conditions that can need to be achieved to get the benefit. Well, I have put the question like, what must go right? What are the things, that conditions, if I do this, I will get the benefit, whatever I have given. Like the earlier was the improve customer experience. So what are the things I should do so that I can get the improved customer experience? So that becomes my CSF. So CSFs are subjective. So it's not like it will always be debatable. There will no single truth for the CSF. Okay, there can be discussions, debate, and you can build a consensus, right? So user adoption can be getting a better customer experience, can be a CSF. Okay, improved stakeholder engagement can be a CSF. So CSFs is always, okay, subjective in nature. It can't be objective, right? To measure the CSFs, I have KPIs. So KPIs give the indication whether I can achieve the CSF. KPIs are objective, measurable. Every CSF can have 1 to 3. This is a rule of thumb. 1 to 3 KPIs, right? The KPIs are objective and they can be measurable. They should have that smart economy, specific, measurable, accurate, timely, etc., sensitive. So this are your, so when we do PgMP, we go much into detail, but no, for our webinar, we are saying this, okay? So every CSF will have KPIs, and this together, okay, will create measure the impact. Actually, in a program, the sum of all the CSFs is the success of the program, right? So, like I said, no, CSFs generally 5 to 12 rule of thumb. For every CSF, there can be 1 to 3 KPIs rule of thumb. Leading factors are futuristic, lagging are, what has happened before. So this is a CSF, improved user adoption, and the metric for doing that is, what is the percentage of user adoption. So that can be a KPI. I hope some of you might be doing CSFs and KPIs for your thing, but in my experience, I've been doing trainings for quite some time, interacting with a lot of corporates. I have found almost 95% of the people do not involve themselves with CSFs and KPIs, right? So one of the things again is the same. Okay, I just put the targets here. So this is something which I can put a benchmark against to measure my things. So increase digital revenue. Again, I said experience adoption. Know what is the conversion rate, CSAT, what I want to achieve. So I can develop a value framework. So in program management, we have a mechanism like at ProThoughts, we do this and we do a case study where we develop a template called benefits map, where we break down the benefits into CSFs and KPIs, and actually people can use it as a template in their workplace as well. This will help them to create value for the organization. So you provide that. I think it's not there in the PGMP guide, but that's what we value add in our training. So this is the program management value framework which we do. So these are some of the examples of KPIs, okay, that we have. Like this is financial KPIs which you might be doing most of the times, like ROI. But KPIs are not limited only to finance. It can be operational KPIs, there are customer KPIs, there can be employee KPIs, there can be strategic KPIs. Okay, so you can have, depending on your CSF, these are some examples of KPIs. You can have hundreds of metrics. I had just given some examples of what are each one of them. You can have separate categories as well, vendors, KPI, whatever. So these are just some examples to give you an idea what is a KPI, what is a CSF. Okay, I hope you are clear on that. This is just the idea of what is a value, how you can actually measure a value. Value, if not measured, is no use. So that's the idea. Okay, these are examples of leading indicators and lagging indicators, right? Leading indicators is what lies ahead of me. Lagging indicators, which shows what happened before this date. Like status report is a lagging indicator. Okay, what has happened last week? A weekly status report, right? So actually, it's said that the leading indicators are better than lagging because it predicts the future. The future is predicted based on the past, but a management requires a leading indicator more. A program manager uses both because they need to check what has happened before as well, right? So this is your lagging and leading indicators. I had just built some of examples. Like I did a ERP program, and I did a very big program for a government entity some years back when I was working with Microsoft. And the strategic objective was to improve operational efficiency. A file used to take 45 days. With the ERP, we cut down to within 5 minutes. Okay, that's what we did. So uh, the benefits was reducing the cycle time, of course. The process efficiency was improved, inventory cost, okay, and the critical success factors or consolidation of data, know how users will adopt this, okay, what is the process standardization, and KPIs for that was, know what is the user adoption to improve the performance, what is the inventory carrying cost, what is the order cycle time, and we had some targets and we could measure against the target whether we are achieving over a period of time. Just a very quick example. uh, we I use this a big example during my benefits map in my PgMP training. But yeah, this is a good example. Okay, the value generated is, okay, lowering the cost and improving the profitability, right? I'm lower the cost and get better things at the same rate because of using automation like a ERP, right? So this is one of the programs, a huge program at that time. Uh, I'm working with one of my a very esteemed big global client. I will not name. They are doing a AI transformation. We are not a part of it. But I just got to know from them they are doing this. The objective is, increase the productivity, and that can help to build higher efficiency, maybe a better decision making. So these are the things they are trying to check, and this is like the measurement against that. So these are the some of the KPIs to measure this, right? This is something which we feel a lot of. So I'm talking with, so we do AI, like, in for project managers, and this is something which is trending across a lot of corporates to build in AI and how to build AI across the organizations to improve your productivity. So this is something which I want to work on. uh, this is your another product launch, which is very, I taken some familiar programs just to give you an indication, okay, how your strategic objective translates into benefit. See, everything is related to each other. It is not how I can increase the market share. The answer is, okay, higher by building, increasing higher revenue or having higher revenue growth. How I can get higher revenue growth? Maybe by doing faster time to market. How I can measure faster time to market? I have a KPI to do that. So if you go from left to right, I can get the next level by answering the question how. Everything is connected with each other, right? That's how you build a benefits map. It takes time, okay, but this is how it is, right? And this is something as an area of a program, and this is very strategic that you need to build. And to do this, and okay, build a critical success factors. That's where you start projects, which are called program components, right? But I just wanted to build on the value part. Right. Before, okay, since I had 1 hour, I wanted to give you, a good kind of, knowledge in that 1 hour. And I wanted to put some things which people mistake value for, right? Where people mistake how to measure program success. So, no, many people ask this question: did we deliver the system? I heard a lot of managers or top leaders ask, did the system got delivered? Okay, how long it takes to go live? Okay, The right question is, did the system improve my business performance? For what the system you did that, does it improve? When you ask the right question, your team is also getting aligned to that. That's what they want. If you ask, you need to build a system, the team is just thinking, I just need to deliver it. The real value comes after delivering. So if you are making a ERP program, you're measuring this, but you're not measuring this. Is it giving me increased adoption? Is it improving my efficiency? Am I measuring this? This is my, it will give me a roads to value. So you need to measure the outcomes, not the output. And majority times we are so much obsessed with projects that we forget as a unit to measure the outcome. That's the big problem, right? Second, people equate project success with program success. Like, no operation was successful, patient died, right? Sorry. So everything is green like a watermelon, outside green. When I dip inside, it's all red. It's called the classic watermelon effect. So I did all the projects were doing great, but nothing is happening on the ground. This happens a lot many times when I do my stuff. Oh, I did my job. One person says, I did my job. The second person, a content team says, I did my job. Second says, I did my job. I did all the calling. Oh, but where is the revenue? What is happening? They're not interconnected. Nobody is kind of coordinating. Everyone is so single minded. They're not worried about the dependency factors, how we can make it work together. And that's a key element missing in lot of organization. So program is focused on value, project is focused on the output deliverables, right? We sometimes focus on only the financial metrics, but the other metrics most often gets forget. We forget that other metrics. We say ROI is good, but what about, say, employee engagement? So this is something we need to keep in mind. We measure what has happened before, but we do not measure what is going to work in the future. So leading indicators are missing, and that's very key. I have seen in lot of organizations that there are project owners, but there are no benefit owners. So after the project is done, the operation manager is doing his stuff, but there is no one to carry the change and make it sustainable from the output, from the deliverable to making it as an asset. So there are no benefit owners, and benefits cannot realize on themselves. It's actually a big complex task where every moving part is so selfish in the organization that they don't want change to happen on its own. They will actually maybe resist. The majority of the stakeholders would resist the change because it can disrupt their lives. So you need a benefit owner, and program managers are the benefit owners, or they can nominate a benefit owner. Their main task is to get the benefits done. So this is one other area. I call this vanity metrics. Like, no, I have seen in lot of agile projects or agile programs, and I call, they talk about how many features got delivered. No, I do train a lot of, I know I was doing disciplined agile in a much big way earlier. Now PMI has reduced their demand, but I go to corporates and many times I ask, what is your metrics? Now, many times they say number of features delivered is one of the key things. I recently did with a Swiss giant training, and they said, no, number of features delivered, we measure it. And then I asked, it was for a transportation team, how many features are used? No one was aware. That's not my responsibility. Or they said that no one was aware. What is it? Then I asked her, why you're delivering the feature if they're not getting used? So, so we need to ask the right, even we are considering on the projects, we need to know the macro view of things which is missing on the organization. We are measuring the vanity metrics, but not the real metrics. And therefore, the real value becomes a huge gap in a lot of organizations, right? Sometimes we ignore the stakeholder perception. We announce like in a lot of in go live, we celebrate, but what after that? Okay, the stakeholders or the sales team says that no, it's not good. No, it is becoming, I creating duplicate things. I'm using that system as well as CRM. I'm using my earlier system as well, and it is not like reaping any benefits. So this is very important to manage the stakeholder, handhold him, give him the confidence about how it will improve your thing. You might want to do campaign awareness, audience talk, get a senior leader to talk about that, handhold, give them a reassurance. All these things are necessary post the go live of a system. You might be doing it, but you need to do it in a very structured way. This will help for a smoother adoption of the system. This is something which I thought was missing, so I'm putting it. You might be doing it as well, right? So the part is like I said, right? I have seen this in my company as well. We develop a new system, but people are so comfortable using an Excel that, oh my God, we spend so much of time developing the new system, putting a license cost for that, but people are still going back to the old ways of Excel. Oh, I'm most comfortable with that. A senior person in the team announces that, and then, oh my God. Then there is a huge effort of talking, discussing, oh no, this needs to be done, this needs to be changed, and then it becomes a big liability to use the new system against the Excel. We need to convince that. So even in a small organization as us, it becomes so difficult. Imagine for a large organization. So we ignore the parts post the output of this. So one is alignment, one is the benefits post the output. So which makes it difficult to, because there is no owner, makes it difficult to generate the real value, right? Everyone, everyone wants their own piece, right? Operation wants no fewer variations, sales want more orders. So if we listen to everyone, okay, without a macro view, sub optimization happens. So you should focus on a macro view to generate the strategic value. A project manager may not have that macro view because his role is designed to get that specific objective. Okay, so I'm just making a case about program success, right? So sometimes you start with a lot of into 6 months and then benefits stop eroding. So it needs a sustainment level throughout the lifetime. Sometimes in a lot of big organizations, you have programs only for sustainment of benefits so that the benefits can be sustained. Generally, also operation responsibility to sustain the benefit. But if it's a new strategic, you need a sustainment program as well, right? Right. So I just wanted to give you an idea of what is a real value and why that real value, how it should be measured, how the impact should be done, and therefore, okay, what are the current gaps that makes it necessary for measuring the real value. I just want some closing thoughts, and then we will close the webinar and we'll open it for question and answers. I Throughout this, I was saying that projects are not focused, okay, on the real value. And many times, many people have this myth that programs are like coordination agents who coordinate different multiple projects and manage the dependencies. They do that, but they go beyond this because they are bringing the value at a strategic level by realizing the benefits. They are the ones who are focused, and they are the ones who are the one who take that project outputs and convert them into benefits and therefore the value for the strategic organization. Now, they are very important for the organization. They are the missing link between the execution and the strategy. A program manager is both a decision implementator and a decision maker as well. They're both strategic as well as tactical. So, program manager focuses on delivering the real value. Okay, is not about real value is what we have achieved, but what we can improve, right? Okay, how we can sustain the benefits, and the program management is that bridge to do that, right? So they are the leaders who translate. I like this quote, so I have put that. They are the leaders who ensure that the delivery translates into real, measurable, and sustained value. And that's what I call a real value for the organization. Right. With this, I closing this. Okay. I'm going to open it for question and answer. We do this PgMP training, and I will be the trainer for the PgMP. We have the next batch at the end of the month, a month from now. Anyone interested, we can have a chat on that. We do a PFMP, which is also about value, which is at the top management, which will be also in July. We generally, the demand for PFMP is not as much for PgMP, but we do it, sorry about that. We do it at on demand basis, the PFMP. And yes, I would be more than happy to connect with you on LinkedIn. We can have an offline chat if you want to know more about value and just knowledge and discussion about mentors and know a free flowing discussion, anything. I will be more than happy to connect with you. You can just type my name, a unique name, okay, on LinkedIn, and I will stay connected with you. So that would be great to have you connected. And I open this forum for any question and answers. So please put your questions and answers on this. Okay. So Subhash, okay, how to measure process standardization KPI? Okay. So yeah, that's a great question. Uh, Process standardization KPI for process standardization. Let me think what can be process standardization KPI. So process, when I say it comes as a part of quality. One second. When I say, okay. Process, when it comes as a part of quality. Quality, you can actually put no like a quality assurance. Quality assurance tries to know get no check whether my processes are working to deliver the intended results. So one can be process efficiency. Okay. Process efficiency in Agile, we use a lot. Okay. It is value added time upon non-value added time. This can be one metric to use for process standardization. The other metric, like I said, in quality can be defects rate. Okay. If I'm doing a process, how much defects I get with the defect density, what is the error rate or defects rate? Also, I can use for compliance and consistency, like what is the audit pass rate? Okay. How much compliance audits have passed successfully or at frequent time. So that can be another thing. Also, it can be other part can be a process uh, like uh, like when you do a process by a workflow step by step, you can say that how many steps are done by automation, how many steps are done manually. So we call it what is the automated process percentage. That can be also the thing. So we need to see the context and put that, but that can be one of the things that you can do that. I'm just doing off the cuff, Subhash. Maybe I don't know exactly your context, but this can be different KPIs depending on the context. Okay, Raghavendra is asking, is it better to be PMP certified before taking PGMP? Not necessarily. There are pros and cons, Raghavendra, about PGMP and PM. If you are a PMP and do PGMP, one thing, the PGMP standard guide is definitely written by a PMP certified person. So the way it is written, a PMP certified may find it very similar, familiar, etc. But the drawback is that no, he needs to unlearn the project management mindset, and which is very difficult. So I get both candidates who appear for our training, and we have both people who are certified. A PMP who has done PGMP gets certified. Without PMP, people come as certified. So, however, depending on years of experience, you can directly attempt PGMP as well. Right? Or one question, Sashank. Value is derived from customer. As we are vendors, through we deliver in agile fashion with frequent show and tell. This has to be equally shared with client. User adoption has to be enforced from client and users. I see this is failing badly in my recent experience. Yeah. Yes, like in your sphere of things, like you are in TCS or Infosys, you are working for a client, and the client, there is a client program manager or somebody, you are doing this for him. But yeah, so whatever I'm talking was from the client perspective, you are right there. So your job is to deliver the project, but if you can have more kind of dialogues and conversations with your client managers and get that macro view while you're delivering your projects, you might get the user perspective, and you might want to build it in your project outputs as well, right? But yeah, so this is something which the your client project manager or program manager also is may not be aware of the things I just mentioned about things what they are measuring. They might not be measuring the macro view of user adoption and the benefits and the value, and they are just trying to push something because there was a gap and now they're automating, for example. But having the other things can help them achieve their value little more smoothly and in a much better way. Today what is riding on that stake is much higher, because if I don't get the value within a certain time, even survival of the business is at stake. And therefore generating value has become a lot more important for the organizations. There is solid pressure. There are no lot of startups, lot of new businesses, lot of competitors challenging your status quo. So it has become enormous importance for a business that you get it right the first time, right? Yeah. Any further questions? Anyone? Okay, one sec. I'm going to give you guys the PDU code, okay, so which will help you to do that. Before that, if you can answer the polls, that will be great. And no, that will really help us. And meanwhile, while answering the polls, you can write your questions as well. Yes, Sashank, you have another observation, I guess. From my practical implementation in DG filed, what is DG? I don't know. Since the regulation are not mandate as per government policies, so many clients offboarded our tool, which has impacted our revenue growth. Why the regulations are not taken seriously? Is this a question for me? I didn't get that, Shashank. From a practical implementation in DG files in the regulation, are you making observation? Okay, I can make you talk if you want. Okay, let me see. Yeah, you can talk, Shashank. You can unmute yourself and talk.
Yeah, am I audible, sir?
Yes,
So what I'm trying to say is like, see, from my first statement, as I said, that value is the outcome which we see. The requirement is given from the customer. Most of them are service-based customers only, right? So that we'll be getting the requirements. We'll be doing all the gatherings and developing things and delivering it to the
correct.
customer. So
Correct.
the revenue growth and whatever the ROI is, the customer is already planned for the future implementation. So he's saying that if you deliver this product in this 3 months, I'll be having this much of benefits, say like ROI or operations optimization time or whatever is going to cut down to me.
Hmm.
So these are the default benefits which every customer has seen in my 14 years of experience.
Okay.
So the way we are saying is like this, see, the program manager is here to see like what is the objective of this implementation and what is the strategy and what is the program governance we are going to follow and what are the benefits of these outcomes actually.
Okay.
So the initial stage itself, they're discussing a lot and we're doing a lot of analysis and coming up with to-dos. Okay, these are the benefits if we deliver this to the customer. But once the product is rolled out to the production, right, it's the customer, the major load will be on the customer only because we have given our deliverable and we have delivered it as per the user acceptance testing. And when we say that value is not derived from whatever the slides we have gone through now, we are saying that the value is not derived from from the project actually. So you're saying that project is success, but program is not success actually.
Yeah. Yeah.
How are we
So
trying to justify that from as a program manager? I'm just planning to do my PgMP in a nearby time. So I was thinking like generally I'll go with the practical examples. It's not
yeah,
like
of
I
course, of course. So you guys are okay. You're done. You wanted to say something. Sorry, I thought of I interrupted you.
Yeah, so the practical example in my recent implementations, right? I worked with different geographies customers, and they
Okay.
say that they take the tool, they say that it's fine. We are able to see all our metadata in a single interface by crawling all the database into the system, and it's very fine. And after the using it for 1 or 2 years, they say that no, we are not adopting to the tool. And what is the problem?
Okay.
They say that from your side everything is fine, but our users and your license consumption is got not getting
Correct.
fully utilized, and we are paying a budget for this, and which is
Correct.
incurring a huge burden on that from the budget perspective actually.
Yeah, I think you have a valid point. We also resell a project management software, and sometimes our authority is limited to not kind of influence the people in the no your vendor organizations. Like you said,
Yeah,
you are a vendor to a customer organization, and therefore your authority is limited to do that impact, and
yeah,
that's with the customer only. I perfectly agree. But when you have a program mindset, the way you will converse, way you will do the deliverables, it will have a different baritone and different way of doing things, which will
yeah,
create that impact. Your still authority is not there, but you will be having a little more influential thing. You will have a different mindset to
yeah,
deliver. You will have a different mindset to engage with your customer.
yeah,
Yeah, yeah. That is the fact remains that you will be a vendor, but you will be in a better position to influence and get your deliverables successful. Although the onus remains on the customer program manager to do the things. That is
yeah.
true. Okay. That I agree with you.
So this has impacted our business actually. So and also the second point which I'm typing, right? So we are in the data governance field. We are a data governance solution global deliverable customer we have across different
Okay.
geographies. So most of the data governance will fall in the regulations. Like every zone has its own regulations. Like we have GDPR. Recently in India we have DPDP introduced for the Data Privacy and Data Protection Act, and other countries, some countries have their own data regulation acts actually. So what the government regulation is saying is like when you are using whatever the data is in your organization has to fall in these regulations. So to get that regulations compliant, you have to use a data governance tool. We have so many vendors in the market, and somehow we onboarded the potential clients in frequent times. And the one feedback I came to know from the customer, why are you terminating the contract? Means they said that like these regulations are not bit mandatory for us, and so we just want to onboard the data governance tool from our organization actually. So the I don't so when there's a regulation implemented by the government authority, that is very mandatory, and it should be a secured way of managing the data in the systems actually.
Correct.
Now they are saying that we don't want this tool because the regulations are not mandate and we are flexible in that. So we just want to cut down the budget. So we are just removing this tool from the organization. So that has
Oh,
impacted our revenue a lot. And I was little worried like when the government is mandating the policy, why the clients are not ensuring enforcing to utilize the tool in a proper way. most of the places I see the customer program managers, the way they involve in the implementation phase, as the things are keep on going in the as per the contract, right? I feel like that there is some interest is getting loosed here actually. So we are worried like whether we will be having this customers renewed for the next year or not. So that
Yeah.
so more or less whatever is happening on the both sides, it is impacting us as a vendors actually.
No, yeah, perfect. Yeah, that is true. See, that's a very, very no normal, no kind of no problem or the scenario you are saying. Yes, Subhash has said if that touching PI is okay. Yeah, so yeah, I also face the same problem, which I also resell a project managed software, and we have always that question mark whether they will renew. And there are a lot of
Mm.
factors, like Shashank. This is one of the factors which you say that governance is mandated, but they have their own circumstances where they don't want to do this, maybe about a lot of administrative overheads or whatsoever.
Mm.
So I do not have a simple answer to your question on this, but we can always discuss offline, Shashank,
Yeah,
and maybe we can talk about your scenarios and maybe can help you out in my whatever to understand your scenario. You can get in touch with me on LinkedIn and we can have a conversation.
sure, sir. Thank you.
Great. Any other questions? Okay, we have shot the time up. Okay. But if there are no more questions, I will close this webinar. But if there are any other pointers, you can directly get in touch with me on my LinkedIn, and I will be happy to have a conversation with you. So, thank you so much for today's webinar. I hope it was valuable for you, and we will stay in touch. So, thank you so much, and a warm namaste from my side. Have a good day. Bye. See ya.